Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Happy New Comic Book Day, April 3rd, 2024. I hope all you guys found all your books in your cubby, on the new comic book shop wall, mailed to you. However you guys get your comics, I hope you guys find all the comics this week that you're looking for. I know I did, at least what I could get here in the loud, mysterious black bag. We got 4 books to talk about today. As usual, I've read through them, and I put them in an order from, least favorite to most favorite. And we'll talk a little bit about them without any spoilers. Before we get dived into that, as usual, just want to remind you, hey guys, help the YouTube algorithm, spread me out like peanut butter, like, comment, and subscribe. Helps that algorithm so more people can find my Fun Times channel about comic books. Loud, mysterious black bag out of the way. And on to book number 4, we have X-Men 33. I think this run's ending like all of the other runs ended, and this one's still going. And I'm pretty interested, like where we end up taking this storyline. Honestly, this cover is so awesome. Check this cover out too. You gotta love this cover. Cyclops, Wolvie, Sync. Just an amazing, cool cover. And yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this run by Jerry Duggan. This issue was no different. Not too much happens in it. I feel like a lot of the... Okay, well, one major thing does happen, and that was pretty cool. A lot of fight scenes through this one. It kind of read real breezy and was just, just a lot of fighting and cool X-Men action scenes. It was it's been a lot of fun. I'm a little torn because, like, part of me is sad that the Krakoan era is ending, right? Because I always felt like there was some interesting stories that could be told there. And when they got the treehouse in New York, I was like, okay, maybe we're on the right track. And, before we could have any fun with that, until some fun, like, X-Men in New York storylines, I felt like the rug kind of got pulled out from under that, and they were like, nope, we're just going to end the Krakoan era. And so that kind of disappointed me. And prior to the X-Men having that tree in New York and kind of being, like, stationed out in New York, I sort of wasn't really into the run by Hickman. And where he kind of took the characters, I kind of didn't agree with a lot of it. And it seems that, honestly, what's happening is we're righting a lot of the wrongs done by Hickman by leaving the Krakoan era. And that at least gives me some faith and hope for the future that maybe this next run of X-Men titles is really gonna, hit that sweet spot. And I guess, so like I said, it's sort of bittersweet. It's like we're ending what could have been a fun run, but never really fully took off, right? And had some interesting pieces and parts in it. And, I've really enjoyed through this run of X-Men the development of Sync. And if anything, 1 through 36, is that where we are now? My goodness. 33. Okay, so at least 1 through 33, we do get a lot of, not in this specific issue, but throughout the whole run, we've got a lot of character development for Sync, and I do feel like that kind of paid itself off, and is at least the reason to read this specific run of X-Men. But yeah, otherwise, in a lot of other places, it's kind of fallen flat for me, and I think we have one more issue, and that's kind of why I wanted to, talk about the run as a whole, all 33 issues. It's had its ups and downs. I think, kind of looking back as a whole, I wanted a little more, and a little more cohesiveness. It was always getting dragged into other storylines back, and I feel like that's sort of the problem with some of these titles is they're constantly wanting to do crossovers, and they get kind of stretched too thin sometimes. And it'd be better if we had a 6 or 7 issue arc where each issue led into the next. That's what I'm kind of missing sometimes from my X-Men right now. I don't know if anybody out there watches that is doing the next X-Men run, but yeah, that's kind of my only hope is can we consistently tell a story throughout 6 or 7 issues without me having to buy a $15 big ultra sized thing, or you know, can we just keep, have the story in the main title. I hope I didn't lose you guys. We're gonna move on. Venom 32. I don't know. This run's been really kind of killing it recently. I've not been the biggest fan of Ewing's stuff, but he's kind of wrapping up this narrative that I haven't liked, and the way we're wrapping it up is just epic and fun. And so at least it's like, man, this guy really knows how to write epic. Like, this feels epic, and I'm kind of digging that. You know what I'm saying? I think if anything, too, what's really kind of salvaging the what's going on in the story is Ken Lashley's art on the interior is just, he's killing it. There's a bunch of really, really good art in there, and it's a great read. Things are happening with Dylan, things are happening with Eddie. We're coming to kind of to the end of the road for this particular story arc, and it looks like it's going to be entertaining throughout. Like, the whole story arc's been pretty entertaining, honestly, and I think once you sit down, this will read really good in a trade too. So let's go ahead and move on to my number 2. Amazingly not number 1. Like, I read the next issue that we're going to talk about in the number 1 spot after I'd read this one. And before I did, I kind of was like, oh, there's no way you can't beat this Deadpool one. It was so much fun, guys. I absolutely had a blast with this one. The writing is superb. I wouldn't say it exactly feels like the Wade Wilson played by Ryan Reynolds like the last run, but it sort of pulls a different kind of voice, maybe more of a comic book type character that I thoroughly enjoyed this. There's more than just the quips and little things that Deadpool might say. The reason I was so thoroughly entertained at the end of reading this issue was there was a lot of really cool stuff set up inside this. And there's a new character introduced. It's not a spoiler or anything. I'm not going to tell you anything about him. But there's a new character who's introduced who's super cool. And I was like, wow, this guy's cool. And it looks like he's going to, or she, I think it's a he, either way. Not giving anything away here. I think this person is going to be around for a while, and kind of like an antagonist for this whole run, and that seems super cool. Like, this character was very interesting to me, and I can't say much more than that without sort of spoiling, the fun of reading it yourself the first time. And so, yeah, no, it's just a really good kind of a, how do you, not like detective or anything like that, but it had this storytelling aspect that presents you with questions, or kind of makes you think of questions without blatantly saying anything, right? And then gives you a little taste of some answers, and I really appreciated that. And I also kind of liked there was some scenes that it connected back to the prior series of Deadpool and continuing his story from that last series, which I also appreciated. It didn't feel like, oh, we're just jumping in and you're going to completely disregard what has come before and make that entire 10-issue run, make what I read and found fun about that run and just kind of disregard everything. And they don't do that. And I think that's part of, too, what I really appreciated about this was, even though I could tell that we're going to go in a different direction, we're not going to go in that direction. We're going to go in a different direction. Not going to be as jokey, a little more serious, a little more comic book, a little more superhero. But at the same time, we're we're not gonna just act like that didn't happen. Actually, we're gonna take elements from that and things that happened in that story, and we're gonna use that to craft a more interesting story as we go forward. And I really appreciated that. And it was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Like he sort like the writer sort of actually thought about where the character was and how that would affect him. And yeah, I mean, you can't ask much more. And so I am fully on, after reading issue number 1, I'm fully on board for this run. I'm definitely getting issue number 2, which when I picked up this issue number 1, I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, I'll give it another Deadpool run so soon after the last. When they canceled a run that I was actually enjoying, so you're kind of worried, like, oh, people didn't like that. I liked it. Now they're going to give us kind of a different flavor. Am I going to like that flavor? I totally enjoyed that flavor. This Rocky Road Deadpool's for me. We're going to move on to my number 1 book here. Number 1 of the week, again, from what I can think, this is like the 3rd or 4th Batman in a row that the week it came out, it's hit number 1 on my top list of books that I read this week. And like I kind of said a minute ago, I read this last, and after I'd read Deadpool, I thought for sure Deadpool was number 1. There's no way Batman can beat it. Batman's been really good, but it can't beat it. I'm gonna put Deadpool at number 1. Even if it's a really good Batman, I'm gonna do it. I was kind of already predetermining, which you shouldn't do when you're creating a list, right? And so, but this book proved me wrong. Like, throughout reading it, I was so thoroughly entertained by Batman 146 and the ending just, okay, so this is the best way I can describe it without like, telling you what's going on. So this whole run has started 21 issues ago when Chip Zdarsky started his Batman run. And I honestly think that you can call from then until now the failsafe run. And we're still going forward. It's still the failsafe run. And I think that's what going forward eventually, like, once this thing is read, once this is read in trades and as more people get access to being able to read this very well, in my opinion, could go down as one of the best Batman storylines ever told. And I don't say that lightly. If you've been watching my channel, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I don't clickbait and say stuff like that just out of the blue. This run is amazing. And this issue nailed and hammered home in my mind how I almost used a curse word. How amazing, how actually amazing a movie. Even if it's just, like, please, DC, please, guys. Even if it's just an animated movie, you have to give this to us. Please, I beg of you. And it's probably more than 2 hours. Like, this has to be like a 3.5 hour. Oh my goodness, guys. Because I don't even know. We're not even at the end yet. But I have not, in my life, read a Batman run as good as this. With art throughout as good as this. It is the best thing in comics right now. And I have to say it. I don't do this ever. You guys know me. I'm not trying to get people to go out and spend money on things that they, you know what I'm saying? That's just not my... That's not my MO. It's never been my MO. But if you are not reading this Batman run, you have got to be reading this Batman run. This Batman run is so good. And it has been kind of a slow burn. But I'm telling you, go back to 125. I know this sounds like a lot. 21 issues. This guy's like... But it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Go back to 125. Start at the beginning of the Chip run. This is... it. And this isn't even like the culmination, but every single issue for the past 5 issues in a row, 4 issues, something like that, there's been so much revelations each issue, and the ramping up of this storyline and building and just building to this crescendo, and I cannot say enough about what I am coining the oh my goodness, it's it's just so good. It's so good, guys. It and look at this front cover. Do you not see this? So yeah, man. Some people. I'm almost speechless, guys. Like, it's that damn good. It is that damn good. I don't know what else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Happy New Comic Book Day. As always, we'll see you guys next time. Click all the buttons, do all the things. Have a great day. And my goodness. Like, it just kind of got me even. I can't do my outro right. Have a great day, guys.